Hi, my name's Chris Baber and today I'm going to run you through my plyometric coaching video. So today I'm going to be talking about the use of plyometric movements as a training aid for rugby players. During game rugby, sprinting, tackles and rocking all involve maximal efforts that challenge a player's strength and power. These are full body movements that require strength in various planes of movement. So therefore, players require not only high levels of general and specific strength, but also stability and mobility. Expressing strength quickly produces power, and this is required to break through tackles, accelerate at high speed, and jump to catch a high ball. The multi-directional nature of rugby highlights the need for speed and agility. This often involves fast changes in direction when reacting to a position of a defender, decelerating sharply to hit a ruck, or accelerating to make or break a tackle. Analysis of the game pinpoints acceleration as being the major requirement as opposed to top-end speed. So what are plyometrics? Plyometrics, also known as jump training or plyos, are exercises in which muscles exert maximal force in short intervals of time, with the goal of increasing power, which is strength times speed. This training focuses on learning to move from a muscle extension phase to a contraction phase, in a rapid or explosive manner. What is the strength shortening cycle? This is described as a rapid muscle action whereby the muscle undergoes an eccentric contraction followed by a transitional period prior to the concentric contraction, and is sometimes referred to as the reverse action of muscles. The action of the SSC is best described as a spring-like mechanism, whereby compressing the coil causes it to rebound and therefore jump off a surface in an upward direction. Increasing the speed at which the coil is compressed or how hard it is pressed down will result in the spring releasing the energy in a greater upward motion. This is known as the rate of loading. Increasing the rate of loading will increase the distance or height of the upward motion. Therefore, a counter-movement jump which incorporates a run-up or drop from height will be greater when compared to a static jump position. There are two types of strength shortening cycle: speed training, where ground contact time is under 250 milliseconds, and slow plyometric training, where ground contact time is over 250 milliseconds, and this is primarily used for the development of acceleration. The SSC is commonly known for its use to develop speed and power development within explosive movements. However, it is now being used as a tool to help reduce injury rates within athletes by making players more plyometrically efficient. When an athlete becomes more efficient at executing plyometric movements, the stored energy in the SCC means the whole movement requires less energy. With an increase of plyometric efficiency, the rate at which an athlete fatigues is decreased. So therefore, with players becoming less fatigued during a game, injury frequency can be seen to also decrease. Research shows that plyometric training versus resistance training is twice as efficient at reducing injury rates and frequencies throughout the season. The intensity of a plyometric exercise varies greatly. Skipping exercises are classed as low intensity, while relative box jumps from 80 centimeters and above are the highest intensity of a plyometric exercise. This table shows the relative intensities for a few types of plyometric training exercises. Plyometric volume relates to the number of repetitions per session. This table shows the number of repetitions recommended for a plyometric training session. Frequency. Typically, 2 to 3 sessions of plyometrics can be completed in a week. This table shows an example of a week's worth of typical whole-body plyometric training. Rest ratios. The effectiveness of a plyometric training session depends on maximal effort and the ability of a high-speed movement for each rep. Rest intervals between repetitions and sets should be long enough to allow almost complete recoveries, and work to rest ratio of 1 to 10 is recommended. Today I'm going to be coaching one example of a plyometric session. It will focus on the main tasks of a depth jump with progressions and one regression that can be used depending on the athlete's ability. Firstly, the main task. It's going to be a depth jump with a counter movement jump up after. For the first progression, a depth jump from a box followed by a counter movement jump onto another box directly in front. For the second progression, a depth jump from a box, but this time holding weights. As soon as the athlete hits the floor, they're letting go of these weights and jumping onto the box. Lastly, a possible regression of the second progression I did. This is only if the athlete doesn't feel comfortable dropping the weights after the depth jump. It's the same as progression 2, but wearing a weighted vest throughout the entirety of the plyometric exercise. The idea behind this vest is to add the weighted element without the coordination of dropping and jumping.